Blessings, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Dane, your host. I hope you're doing well wherever you may find yourselves. And welcome to another episode of Face-Off Friday. Even though it is not Friday, I'm giving another video today to catch up because I'm behind in doing these as promised. Sometimes it just happens. And as you can tell from the thumbnail, I'm pitting these two albums against each other. And let me reverse them. Yeah, so, I had it right the first time. So, this album, David Coverdale's first solo album, as you know, comes out in May 1977, and then this comes out in November of 1977. And if I take the booklet out, the version that I had was this one. So just the back to the original cover. I think this was the American version. But as you can tell, whatever side you look at Innocent Victim, there's a snake motif going on, snake skin on the back. And, of course, same thing here. There's a tinier snake compared to the one here. Now, was what Uriah Heep did with respect to choice of album cover or album art a result of wanting to demonstrate, hey, let's compete with Coverdale? Coverdale, a bit of a rival, in the sense that Coverdale was in Deep Purple, and Deep Purple was both a rival to and companion band in many ways. Just not companion band, but similar because of the Hammond organ and the 70s vibe that both bands give. And they're both wonderful in their own right. They both have their merits, right? Some similarities, but mostly, I would say, differences. And I love both of those, similarities and differences. Now, David Coverdale auditioned for Uriah Heep after he left Deep Purple, and the story goes that Coverdale had the realization that he would eventually get his own band, so he declined the Uriah Heep offer. So I thought it'd be a great way, I thought this would be a great video, whether or not this album art was designed to compete with this or not. But I thought since Whitesnake and David Coverdale and Deep Purple are in many ways part of that whole 70s era, and there's some similarities, that would be a great way to compare these two and which is the better of the two. So we're going to start with this album. So the first song is Keep On Riding. This is one of those hit the road songs. It's a good song, but not a great. Flying High is a boogie rock. I'm not the biggest fan of boogie rock. That's why I'm not the biggest fan of Status Quo or Elf, although I do like some of the quasi-Elf stuff on the first Rainbow album, because let's face it, it's essentially Dio and Blackmore with the rest of the Elf band, right? So, well, Dio is, or was part of Elf, excuse me. So it's essentially Elf with Richie Blackmore, minus their original guitar player. So it's a good song, but it's not great. I'm not the biggest fan of boogie rock, as I said. The next song is Roller. Has a quasi-glam rock feel to it. I do like this song quite a bit. Free and Easy is one of the hits off the album. It's fast at times. I do like this album. It's often played live. I don't know about today. I think when Bernie Shaw joined the band, around the time that they were releasing the bootleg live stuff, there's some examples of him performing that live with the band. But I do like the song. Illusion, I think, is an underrated gem. And I'm only going to talk about the original 9 tracks. I'm not going to talk about the bonus tracks on either of these. And even though this is the remix, I'm going to be talking about the original mix. I just needed a prop to show you the album cover. I like to do that sometimes. So Illusion, I think, is underrated, and it's a very powerful and emotive song, and it has a return to fantasy feel to it because the setting takes place in the forest or in the woods, and it's kind of cool. Free Me, another Lawton era staple. I think this is a good song. It's about being freed from a spell you're put under. Very cliched, but a good song. Cheat and Lie, kind of cliched lyrics. But I do like it. It's a good song. It's a slow rocker, but I do like it. The Dance. I have reservations about the song. I say it's a bit lackluster. And then you have Choices. This is a slow song, but the guitar on here is fabulous. I think the song is a gem. So this is a good album. It's not a great album, but it is a good album. Now, Whitesnake, Lady, I think, is fabulous. Blind Man, what a very wonderful, powerful, emotive, slow song. This is Coverdale at his best in many ways. Goldie's Place, not the biggest fan. But when it comes to debut albums, a lot of times the band or the artist in question is trying to feel themselves out, and what I mean by that's not the right expression, but they're trying to find their sound. And so Goldie's Place is an example of that struggle. Overall, this album has different genres. You have moments of gospel, you have moments of heaviness, you have moments of the ballad and that sort of thing, the love song, that kind of thing, and everything in between. So Goldie's Place, not a big fan, but I do listen to it from time to time. Time on My Side is a nice rock song. It's not a heavy rocker. It's not a slow song. It's just a kind of a mid-level rock song, if you will. Peace, Love, and Band, what a great song. Perhaps biographical on Coverdale's part. Sunny Days, I think some people gloss over the song and listen to this album, but I listen to this album, but I think this is a good song. I like this song quite a bit. And then we get to Hole in the Sky. Dealing with the loss of love. Love has exited one's life, and part of the lyrics is, there's a hole in the sky, don't tell me you're sorry. What a wonderful song. Original version and the remastered version are where to go, not so much on this remix, because it's shorter and it's missing the gusto or the passion. It lacks the resonance that it once had in this version. And then you get the heavy Whitesnake of foreshadowing what's to come with respect to the heaviness that we know in much of the Whitesnake catalog. It has a Deep Purple feel to it, and it also has a Whitesnake feel to it, and it has a solo feel to it. Great song. Celebration, the lyrics are a little cheesy. Celebration, also an odd song on the album, because Coverdale's still trying to find his way, find his sound, exiting Deep Purple and whatnot. Kind of a party song, but not in the typical rock and roll all night kind of thing. It's got touches of different flavors of different subgenres of rock, and I'll leave it at that. So this is... I once thought that this would be an easy decision to make, and at first I thought it was easy, that this was the clear winner, but I really like this album too. I know it's been panned by critics and fans alike, but I really like this album. It's not a wonderful album, but I do like it. And so when you're preparing for a video, you really, or at least I do, have to sit down and you really spend time with my thoughts and not just rush into things. You've probably figured that out about my channel. I don't, post things necessarily every day. And sometimes I'm just caught up in listening to something and making sure that what I'm telling you is how I really feel. I don't want to I'll just post a video and I'll wing it, and as a teacher, I can never do that. So I guess that seeps into me as a teacher. I can never wing things. I have to spend a lot of time with my lesson plans and what I want to present to the students, that kind of thing, and what I want to present to you, want to have that same quality and sincerity. So I spent a lot of time, as I said, thinking about which of these two I really like, and coincidentally, it is this one, but not by much. What makes this one, to me, the better album than Innocent Victim is the passion in which David sings, especially on Lady, Blind Man, Time on My Side, Hole in the Sky, and Whitesnake. Whether it's heavy or not the point, but there's a certain devotion to the craft here, and it's not to say that there isn't here, but here it's just a fun. It's got a party atmosphere, and while that's a type of sincerity, and there's some dealing with personal relationships and loss and like cheat and lie, but the tone and the vibe is not as thought-provoking or meditative as this is, so I have to go with this. It's a little bit more cerebral than this. And so cerebral for me usually wins the day. So these are still close. So Coverdale's album is here, and then I wouldn't say it's a smidge, but Innocent Victim would be, a smidge would be Innocent Victim's here, Innocent Victim would be about right here. So it's still kind of close. So this wins the day. Thank you so much for watching, and please consider subscribing to the channel. God bless. Bye now.